All right, folks, I'm here today. I've come across some things and heard some things at Ducati and stuff. This is the Ducati dealership local to me. And man, those guys at Ducati Dallas are Ducati fanatics. I worked with them for about a year, and every one of those guys lives, breathes. It's like they were born in Italy where these were made. They got tattoos, they've got their socks, their shoes, their underwear. I mean, everything they do revolves around Ducati. I mean, that is their lives, is Ducati. But they don't work for Ducati. In Italy, they work for Ducati here at a dealership. So I mean, they're really invested in Ducati. But let me get to the point. So I've got my this Ducati on the screen. This is the newer edition, or the newer model that started in 2021 to 2022 and now 2023. This is the SP model, which is the stepped up version, and versus the one that is not. It has the Öhlins forks, and it's got the Terminioni special exhaust on it, and it's got some other things, probably the Marchesini wheels, the ultra lightweight wheels. It's probably got that. I don't know about the rear shock, if that is an Öhlins rear shock. Maybe not, but it's got a lot of stuff. It's got the radial front master cylinder, and the upgraded, probably a little bit fancier rotor or the caliper. So it's a cool bike for sure. But is it a lot different than a 2020 that it replaced? We're going to go over that today, and too, how I started out and with telling you about this bike. When I talked to the guys at Ducati Dallas, they're so die-hard. You talk to a die-hard person, they're like, you get rid of the trellis frame, you get rid of the history of Ducati. They've gone, to a Japanese type bike, and they've had to succumb to the pressure. And I want to show you that today too, because I've looked at some bikes that were out before this one, and man, this it looks like the Ducati went to the drawing board and really changed up their bikes so that they looked like some of the Japanese bikes. Did the Japanese have an advantage, with some of their technology and design and their thought process? Well, it looks like it, because Ducati totally ran away from what they were doing, and they said to be competitive and to racing competitive and competitive in the performance market with these Japanese bikes, that they had to evolve. And so also too, when I talked to Marty at Ducati Dallas, and some of those other folks, they before this bike came out in 2021, they would have been, the rage is what Ducati's doing, but they've switched their tune because they have to. They don't have a choice. Where a lot of people are like, that's not a Ducati anymore. It's changed. It's altered. It's a Japanese bike now. And where in the beginning, the Ducati people at AMS Dallas, and the Marty, at the AMS Dallas, their manager would have been exactly positive towards, oh, we don't want to change. We like the Ducati the way it is. But now that it is the way it is, and they've had to just accept it and come to grips with it. So now they talk this bike up because they want to sell it, and and now it's not talk the previous bike up design, it's talk this one up, even if it doesn't add up and it's not what they like. It's what it is. And so you have to accept this bike now, and they're going to talk it up good, even though it may not be as great as, say, the 2020 Monster 821, motor, performance, grunt, Ducati vibe, the style, the Italian style, the look of the Monster. Okay, but enough of that, because I can talk forever. We're going to come in here and look at this now. So I did a little bit of research, and we're just going to go through some of the bikes, because I see Ducati people making videos, and some of them are from Europe, and they're dealers, and people are trying to talk and get views about new Ducatis coming out, and they want to sell new bikes, so they're talking up the 2021, 22, and 23 Monster motorcycle. So I have a Monster motorcycle, and it's the 2020, and I'm kind of glad that I got the 2020 I mean, in a perfect world, it'd be cool to have a 2020 and then a 2022 and be able to have both of them and go ride them and exchange them. But I can only have one because that's my money situation. But anyways, so look here. I just want to talk to you about the differences. I think that the 2022 or 2021 Ducati took heavily from the Japanese market. And Ducati has never done that. Ducati's always Ducati. Ducati is Ducati. They don't base their design off anything. And it's kind of like they've now taken a shift in approach, and they've seen the popularity and maybe the advantage of these other bikes. So look, I always thought it looked like a Yamaha MT-09. Which is a great bike, because I want to let you know I worked at Yamaha for like 4 or 5 years, and I sold these bikes, and I've owned numerous Yamahas, and I'm a big Yamaha fan. But now that I have a Ducati, man, it's a whole breed apart from the Japanese bikes. It's its own individual standalone motorcycle, and I just don't want people to get their inside or their vision clouded, because but anyways, we're not going to skip over that so the video is not too long. But here is I've gone and done a little research, and I'm a photographer, editor, and all this stuff, so it's easy for me to put pictures of the bikes together to compare them. Excuse me, can't speak. So this is the 2022 Ducati Monster compared to a 2022 Yamaha MT-09. Do you see the differences? Does it look similar to you? Please let me know in the comments. Unfortunately, I don't have a ton of viewers. Man, I wish I did, so that I could come to y'all and ask for advice and ask for opinions. Because my opinion is always kind of shaded, kind of jaded. So not shaded, but jaded. And I kind of want to get more people's opinions. So instead of having 2 people's opinions that comment on my videos, I'd rather have 50. But okay, anyway, so this is the 2020, looked at it long enough, 2022 Ducati Monster. And it took a lot of design cues from this hyper naked bike right here, the Yamaha MT-09. Okay, enough of that. And then I also drew some conclusions real quick. I'm just going to go through what I have. So this is the 2020 Ducati Monster 821 that I have. I got term exhaust and some other really cool parts on it. But this is the 2022 same Ducati Monster. I mean, this is what they say, was the big change from here to here. Trellis frame right here. Just the exhaust coming around, and so this is the transition to the newer model, where they say it just kind of went away. If you follow my mouse right here, mouse pointer, the curve and the seating, is just a little bit different than this design, but similar. Okay, so enough. Let me know what you think. Between, how drastically different do you think, the transition from the 2020 model to the 2021 and greater was? I'd love to hear from you. So let me also show you too, I photoshopped some of this stuff. This is the new 2023 MT-10 SP over here to the left, and this is the SP version of the Ducati Monster for 2023. Now, what I did here is I was having a conversation with some people online, and actually someone from overseas, a Ducati dealer or a Ducati enthusiast, and I was like, man, that's probably really, really similar to the MT-10 SP, because it has the Olin suspension. It's got electronic suspension. So looky here. I think this is very, very similar. This was inspired a lot from this. The MT-09 and the MT-10 were out before the newer Ducati design. So I think Ducati clearly researched and benchmarked all these bikes that I'm going to talk to you today. But there's one that's almost so close that it's ridiculous. So in my search to kind of make these look more similar, because one's blue and gray and one's red, I took the instrument cluster from this MT Yamaha right here and put it over here onto the Ducati, saying how similar these bikes are. So if you just change up some of these small attributes and you put them over here, they look a lot more similar. The basic design principle. So I took the Yamaha bottom rear cowling that's probably just plastic, doesn't really serve too much aerodynamics, and I put it over here on the Ducati, and I put the little Ducati logo right there, just like the Yamaha logo. And then the radiator cover, that's all it is. The radiator's right behind here, and there's a radiator right here on this bike too as well, but I took the cover from here and put the cover over here. So the bottom fairing, little plastic, piece, the plastic little cover right there, and the front instrument panel and the headlight. And I mean, look how similar those two bikes look now. Pretty interesting, right? Let me know what you think, man. Tell me I'm stupid, crazy. Be polite though. Don't be hateful. But hey man, Brian, you're right. How similar those are. I wish Ducati wouldn't have done this, or I'm glad they did. Share your opinion with me. But that's the MT10, more horsepower, than this one. But this is an inline 4-cylinder, and this is a twin. So, a different motor and everything, but very, very similar in looks. That's what I'm talking about today. Okay, so let me go into this now. Let's see what I haven't covered. One gentleman from a Ducati dealership, I think, was arguing, or not arguing, was discussing, let me say that correctly, discussing that this bike from Ducati is more the competitor to this bike. And the Yamaha is meant to compete with this bike right here, the Ducati Street Fighter. Obviously, this is the stepped up version with the S, because it's got some greater suspension on it and some other components. But I just don't see the similarity that this Yamaha is chasing the competition or the people that are going to buy this bike, because this has a whole different swing arm, changes up the whole look of the bike, having single-sided swing arm and a dual-sided swing arm. Of course, this has an under, exhaust. This has the traditional, up the side. This is more of a sport bike seating position with the reach from the seat to the handlebars. This is more of an upright bike with the distance, with the bars being a little taller, and the position of the tank and the seat. So it's come on, I don't really think it competes with this bike. Again, let me know what you think. I would love to hear what you think. This is probably a little more sport bike oriented, and this one has close to 200 horsepower, and I think this was 157 or something similar to that. Don't quote me. But I don't think this bike is competing for the crowd that's buying this bike right here, this Ducati. Okay, but just I wanted to show you that, and also too, the bars are up, look a little bit higher. The instrument cluster is, lower, and this is more, much more lower. The headlights versus higher up on this one right here. Okay, I just wanted to show you that. It's important to see these. It's good to have these photos right here in front of us. And then let me show you real quick when we'll end this. This is the killer. I mean, this is what, I think Ducati really studied and maybe, was after, okay? And you let me know about this too, please. Check this out. All right. Here we have this bike came out, I think, in 2020 or maybe 2019. I don't know for sure. But this 2022 Kawasaki Z900 over here on the left, and on the right is the Ducati Monster SP. Look how similar those two look. I mean, they're so close. I mean, you could throw a blanket over that, or a piece of rice paper, that you trace on, because you can see through the rice paper. Say Ducati got some rice paper and threw it down over this and traced this design, and this pretty much implemented it straight into this design. So I can't say for 100% sure, that Kawasaki was doing this years before Ducati was doing this, but it looks kind of clear, because none of the Ducati bikes look like the Japanese bikes, but this bike looks really eerily very, very close to this Kawasaki Z900. And then I think they've even got coming out soon with a performance version of this that has upgraded suspension, upgraded brakes and things, a little bit higher end. This was like $11,599, and this is like close to $13,000, maybe more than that. I'm not really clear on the price, but pretty interesting. Again, let me know what you think. The Kawasaki Z900 is a pretty popular, pretty cool bike. Now, would I give up the coolness of having the Ducati to get this? I mean, no, I don't think so. They look so close together, but I know this is going to ride different. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a visual comparison. So let me know what you think. I just made this video on my computer for ease, and that's just easy for me. And I want to just make this video. So please comment, like, and give me a thumbs up, and that would be appreciated. Hopefully some people will watch this and kind of give me their feedback to let me know if I'm crazy or if I'm on the right track. 2022 Kawasaki Z900. Cool looking bike for sure. The new 2023 Ducati Monster SP. Also a very cool looking bike. But man, does it look just like a 2021, 22, 23 Kawasaki Z900 that you can get for less money, and probably similar horsepower, similar torque. Still a very great motorcycle, the Kawasaki. Not as cool, and as trendy as the Ducati Monster SP, but still both really cool bikes. Okay, thanks for tuning in. Have a great day, great evening, and I will see you on another video for Ducati. Bye-bye.